In the vast wilderness of Ohio, folklore speaks of a creature, both mythical and terrifying, known to many as Bigfoot. You've heard the legends, right? Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk ape, whatever you want to call it. This towering beast, folklore tells us, prowls these woods, leaving footprints in the mud larger than the largest boots anyone could own. By now, you might be raising an eyebrow though. Bigfoot? Really? But there's no denying that lurking within the quiet, untraveled paths of Ohio's wilderness are haunting tales of a mysterious and unnerving creature. Stories so horrifying, they make the Conjuring series seem tame in comparison. Now, is the Bigfoot of Ohio a creative byproduct of a bunch of overactive imaginations? Maybe an age-old myth? Or is it a strange, elusive cryptid hiding in the shadows? No one can say for sure, yet we continue to be captivated by these terror-inducing encounters. Their chilling narrative, whether real or fabricated, spins a web of intrigue that has entranced crafty enthusiasts and cryptography buffs for years. In a time long ago, as Native American tribes sought solace around the warm embrace of a crackling fire, stories slowly spread like whispers through the wilderness. What began as mere murmurs soon seeped into the very fabric of the culture, weaving itself into tales of a creature hidden in the woods. A figure, neither beast nor man, but a ghastly fusion of realities, with fur matted like unkempt hair and footprints larger than any normal man could ever leave behind. The legend of Bigfoot was born. The Ojibwe tribe, whose roots run deep within the Great Lakes region of the United States and Canada, hold a particularly uncanny legend of their own, the Wendigo. Now, here's where it gets seriously spooky. Legend has it the Wendigo was just an ordinary guy like you or me, until he was possessed by an evil spirit, turning to cannibalism during a harsh winter. Then he transformed into this monstrous being, tall as a pine tree, skin as rough as bark, and an insatiable hunger for, would you guess, human flesh. Unslaked by any morsel of sustenance, he prowled unseen depths of the woods. Terrifying, yes, but the Wendigo, much like Bigfoot, serves as a grave reminder of the consequences of greed, a bone-chilling example of the great imbalance spawned by our actions. These tales are more than mere stories, however. They are echoes of ancient wisdom sown into our civilization's very soul. Now, there's a million-dollar question here. How does the Wendigo connect to our modern-day Sasquatch? There are striking parallels between the two. Both are large, both are hairy, and both are portrayed as elusive wilderness dwellers. The state of Ohio, often overlooked and vastly underestimated, is more than just a midpoint state. Holding the 4th position in BetOhio's rankings, this Midwestern state contributes to roughly 5.7% of total credible Bigfoot sightings reported in the United States. Ohio's Bigfoot, lovingly dubbed the Grassman by many, seems to have a knack for the Appalachian foothills of eastern Ohio. Maybe it's the serenity, or perhaps the plentiful cover. But our hairy friend tends to favor these very secluded spots, much like this one. Don't believe me? Well, just ask the fine folks over at the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. Their eyes and ears stay peeled for any rustles, footfalls, or hoots out of the ordinary, And boy, have they got stories to tell. According to their records, a neat 315 grassman sightings have been recorded throughout Ohio since 1974. Understandably, these harrowing encounters, ominous footprints, and chilling whoops and hollers have been seeping deeper into local legend and putting the fear of the grassman into many locals' hearts. When it comes to Bigfoot enthusiasts, Mark DeWerth ranks high on the list. This well-regarded Bigfoot researcher recalls being followed by a Bigfoot himself as he emerged from an old Ohio strip mine. But he is not the only one. Another report comes from two hikers who ventured into Salt Fork State Park and ended up with a tale they would never forget: a close encounter with the mysterious Bigfoot. But the puzzling incidents are by no means confined to the distant past. They continue to the present day, as fresh as the morning dew on Ohio's grass. Jefferson and Mahoning counties have reported their most recent Bigfoot encounters in July of 2021. Over in Jefferson County, amidst the curious case of missing chickens, came the startling discovery of large, non-human footprints close to Bloomingdale. The mystery that unraveled in Mahoning County is quite unsettling. A couple returned home only to witness a hairy spectacle, a Bigfoot nonchalantly crossing their driveway on the outskirts of Columbiana. Another group ventured through southeast Ohio in pursuit of the elusive Sasquatch, their explorations within the renowned Salt Fork State Park truly encapsulating the essence of mystery and intrigue that surrounds this legendary being. Despite the evaluation that the video featuring a potential Sasquatch shaking a tree may not, in fact, contain the evasive creature, one can't help but be swept up in their persistent fascination and unquenchable spirit of inquiry. Their strategic decision to divide into two teams, covering more ground and utilizing distinct perspectives, boosts the perceived credibility of the endeavor, even if it did kind of sound like a bad decision from a horror movie. One particularly thrilling moment arose when they captured what very well could have been a Sasquatch call. The distant scream echoing through the quiet tableau of the forest sent shivers down the spine and led viewers to the edge of their seats, wondering what might respond. Their expedition underscores an important point. While the sought-after answers may remain unclear, the journey itself, steeped in mystery and teetering on the precipice of discovery, is undeniably very captivating. It's clear that their quest continues, and more such enthralling expeditions lie in their future. Bigfoot Mysteries, an adventurous trek through Salt Fork State Park. The Bigfoot of Salt Fork State Park is more than just a legendary beast. It's a symbol of the allure of the unknown, a story that sparks curiosity and a desire for adventure in all of us. A couple out for some squirrel hunting in 2018 were caught off guard by a blood-curdling howl. And guess what? They couldn't figure out what it was. This led this daring pair through the twists and turns of Salt Fork State Park's forested paths, churning out stories that would raise the hair on the back of your neck. In this wilderness, they found guidance in the knowledge of John Hickenbottom, a local naturalist. His deep affection for the forest, its tales, and his belief that the recurring cycle of growth and decline in the forest could have ties to Bigfoot sightings made him a beacon in their exciting expedition. Immersing them in fragments of history, Hickenbottom revealed stories of wild man attacks in 1869, settlers' folklore in the flourishing Ohio, and even Daniel Boone's personal Bigfoot encounter near the Ohio-Kentucky border, which I'll come back to later. Their journey led them to Bigfoot Ridge, a surreal daytime picnic spot that morphs into a mysterious zone after the sun goes down. and the historic Hozak Cave. The cave, awash with claims and hoaxes, posed doubts, but the allure of an unidentified footprint discovered near its entrance intensified their interest. The peaceful lakeside, known for gigantic rock pelting incidents, and the group campsites buzzing with tales of eerie sounds and unseen eyes, had their way of amplifying the suspense of their exploration. From an unbiased standpoint, Hickenbottom, a pure scientist, regarded skepticism as crucial, straddling the fine line between blatant disbelief and blind acceptance. He advocated for open-minded curiosity. When questioned if Bigfoot was real, he replied, "It really depends on what your definition of real is." My kind of guy. Signifying that Bigfoot, like the infinite natural world, remains vast and uncharted, and carries a powerful ability to spark interest in nature conservation. There's an intriguing expose of a story from the life of the legendary Daniel Boone, a truly revered figure in the annals of American frontiersmen. According to legend and the account of his biographer John Mack Farragher, Boone had a strange encounter with a massive 10-foot-tall creature. This creature, or Yahoo, as it was referred to by Boone himself, shared similarities with the mythical creatures from the popular literature of the time, namely Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels. Now, coming to Daniel Boone's story, this larger-than-life character, a seasoned hunter familiar with the forest's enigmatic presence, reportedly crossed paths with an unusual creature in his long sojourn through the woods. An inquisitive spirit, Boone possessed an uncanny ability to recount his thrilling experiences, leaving listeners captivated by his tales. One such tale, as confirmed by his esteemed biographer Farragher, was particularly interesting. The legend states that during a gala dinner in Limestone, where Boone was visiting his cousin, he began narrating his exotic encounter with a colossal Yahoo, a 10-foot hairy giant. His story derived inspiration from his favorite book, Gulliver's Travels, where Yahoos were depicted as giant beasts in human shape. Boone's claim, though, received with a healthy dose of skepticism, ignited intrigue among all who listened. But Boone's uneasy tryst with mysterious entities went beyond Yahoos. After leaving Kentucky for the territories west of the Mississippi River in Missouri, Boone was reportedly involved in a couple of uncanny incidents with the Ozark Howler. This legendary creature, prevalent in the folklore across Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas, is commonly described as being bear-sized, bearing glowing red eyes, elegantly prominent horns, and supported by a thickly built body with stocky legs and black, shaggy hair. While the authenticity of Boone's claims might be shrouded in the fogs of history, his anecdotes managed to add further depth to the captivating lore of Salt Fork State Park. Boone's spellbinding tales of outlandish beasts all served to fuel the belief that these forested lands hid mysteries that were waiting to be unraveled. Mysteries that bore the mark of Bigfoot. Boone's theory comes to life if we are to believe that Bigfoot is real and that he has been hiding in the forests of Salt Fork State Park for centuries. While this might seem like a tall order to fill, it is important to remember that many people have claimed sightings of the creature over the years. In fact, some of these sightings were so convincing and terrifying that they even converted skeptics like a man simply known as Chris. Chris was a skeptic by nature, always approaching the world with a critical lens. He believed in evidence and logic, preferring truths that could be tested and proven over and over again, leaving no room for fanciful fables or mythical creatures. His life, however, was about to take a turn that would challenge his skepticism to its very core. On a crisp winter morning, March 17, 2009, Chris reluctantly stepped out of the warm confines of his house, bundled up and ready to embrace the day. His loving wife had persuaded him to take a break from his usual routines, suggesting he embark on a hike to get some exercise. This is how Chris found himself at a park in eastern Ohio, surrounded by nature in its most silent form. He picked a random trail, lush green with hints of awakening from winter. As he ventured deeper into the woods, the noise of the world fell away, replaced by the hushed rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and his own rhythmic breath. Just off the beaten path, a sudden sound splintered the calm, a rustling followed by a swift and hurried movement like an unseen freight train racing through the undergrowth. Startled, Chris quickly returned to the marked trail, his heart pounding in his chest. But fate had other plans. As he continued his journey, he heard the disconcerting sound of distinct, human-like whistles slicing through the morning air. 3 of them. Though no human was in sight or ear's reach, not a bird's song, he thought. These whistles lacked the lull and pitches commonly associated with avian vocalizations. The crescendo of this strange symphony awaited him ahead. A sudden flash of white caught his eye. He looked, and his heart froze. There, at a distance, stood an enormous creature, covered in matted, dreadlock-like fur. Standing an estimated 8 feet tall, its broad shoulders spanned over 4 feet, and the white figure was looking right back at him. It was like nothing he had seen before, yet somewhat resembling descriptions he had always dismissed. Those of Bigfoot. But indisputably real in its terrifying stature. His feet moved almost in a daze, carrying him back to his truck, glancing back only to see the creature dash away. Chris, for the first time in his life, felt the chill of working wheels in his head grinding to a halt, confronted by an experience that defied his rational beliefs. That was the day this skeptic was shaken from his grounded reality. The day he understood that life was full of gray areas, slipping through the black and white cookie-cutter perception he always held. A chance encounter, a terrifying creature, and a lifetime of beliefs capsized. Chris began to see the world around him in a new light, humbled, startled, and full of unanswered mysteries. Every mystery starts somewhere. Since the dawn of this Bigfoot mystery, theories have sprouted and branched out, much like these very forests sheltering our elusive beast. The first echoes the belief in Bigfoot as a relic hominid, a remnant of our ancient human ancestors that sought refuge within the wilderness's heart to escape the tide of evolution. Supported by eerie sightings and chilling footprints, this idea treads a thin line between reality and myth, buoyed by a lack of hard evidence like bones or DNA. Critics discount this theory as wishful thinking at best, yet it leaves us with a tantalizing question. Could our past be quietly living in our present? Tread a bit further and we encounter proponents postulating Bigfoot as an unrecognized primate species, concealing itself within the vast, untamed landscapes. They say this creature exists unbeknownst to science. The idea invites ready skepticism considering our advanced exploration and mapping efforts. But how many times has the unexpected surfaced from beneath our assumptions? Now, if we segue into the domain of the extraordinary, Bigfoot starts to take on a supernatural contour, an interdimensional entity capable of materializing and disappearing at its whim. Ridiculous, some might say, but an enduring belief among enthusiasts renders it the quality of an urban myth, one that satisfies our thirst for the fantastical explanations. That's for sure. However, mainstream science tugs our anchor back to more naturalistic interpretations. Then we have the pragmatists, grounding us in their belief that Bigfoot sightings are mere misinterpretations of known animals or humans, something tangible, identifiable, and safe. The critics counter this, however, pointing towards the consistency in Bigfoot sightings and finds. You have giant footprints evoking the visage of an enormous hominid. How can we discard it all just to be mistaken identities then? Despite these wildly different belief sets, our purpose aligns: to learn, to decode, to validate, or to upend. Researchers plunge into nature's secret-keeping green folds, prompted by unusual sightings, ready to scour, probe, and document. Do they find enough? Do they unravel the grand secret? Are we ready for it when they do? We'd be fools not to question the reasons behind this persistent fascination, this relentless pursuit of perhaps our wildest myth. Could it be the allure of discovering a new species? A momentous breakthrough that could redefine our understanding of evolution itself? Is it the spell that Bigfoot has cast on our shared imagination? The curious allure of the fantastical and unknown? Or is it entirely about preserving a possibly endangered species, only whispered in hushed undertones, but never seen? Our quest for Bigfoot, though high in spirit, is a path ridden with challenges. Remote locations guarded by inhospitable terrain, the unreliability of human perception casting doubt on eyewitness reports, and the unavailability of sufficient funding throw curves at us. Subconscious influences of popular culture blur our objectivity, while the human propensity for seeing familiarity in the unfamiliar often leads us down incorrect paths. There's a dedicated tribe of researchers and scientists, tireless enthusiasts braving the shadows of mysteries and the unknown, forever hunting for answers on the existence of our friend Bigfoot. Days turn into nights, weeks turn into months, and yet the passion, it remains unscathed. Among the layers of evidence that came into existence over years of research and exploration, there are a few that definitely stand out, rising above the rest like a lighthouse amidst a stormy sea. Let's rewind to 1967, the time of the Patterson-Gimlin film, an incident etched into the chronicles of our quest. This peculiar footage sparked an uproar that has refused to die down even after decades. The shaky video, though low on clarity, presented a sight so incredible that it shook the sphere of cryptozoology. A gargantuan figure that screamed anything but the ordinary. It was as astonishing as it was terrifying, igniting promises of a world existing beyond our documented knowledge. Entering the millennium, we encountered another fascinating find: the Skookum cast of 2000. A group of intrepid researchers discovered a peculiar imprint in the mud deep within the dense forest of Washington state. No ordinary footprint, this was a silhouette of something huge, something that had seemingly reclined in the mud. The detailed anatomical features visible on the cast sparked contention across the scientific communities. Some experts, including wildlife biologists and forensic anthropologists, tilted towards the idea of an undiscovered primate creating the impression. In contrast, critics postulated it as the handiwork of familiar animals, such as elk or deer. Fast forward to the Harley Hoffman footage in the exquisitely wild Northeast Ohio. This piece, replete with the thrill of the chase, harbored footage of a large, hairy apparition strolling nonchalantly through the woods. Hoffman recounted this extraordinary encounter. which he chanced upon during a hike, yet critics pointed towards the shaky, potentially manipulated footage, dismissing it as a possible hoax, an ordinary individual cloaked in a costume. Despite elaborate claims and counterclaims, definitive, universally accepted evidence of Bigfoot remains as elusive as the creature itself. Yet the tales of this creature continue to echo through our collective consciousness, fueling fascination and birthing mystery. Whether Bigfoot is a relic hominid, an unknown ape species, or an intricate figment of our collective imaginations, it has woven itself into the fabric of our culture. As long as there exists dense forests to harbor shadows and unexplored wilderness to ignite imaginations, the legend of Bigfoot will survive. The quest to unveil the enigma, to chase the unchased, will continue. An emblem of our thirst for knowledge, for the thrill of discovery, for the sheer joy of the chase. No matter how much we debunk the existence of the cryptic creature known as Bigfoot, sightings just keep surfacing, challenging our skepticism again and again and again. In an incident, two fearless hikers embark on an adventure through a southern Ohio park, the air rippling with anticipation, their eyes wide open for the unexpected. Little would they know that their expedition into the woodlands of Salt Fork State Park was about to become one of the most spine-chilling tales ever recounted. These explorers, equipped with a drone, navigate through the eerie silence of the park, documenting their escapades, a modern-day fusion of technology and raw, untouched wilderness. One of our hikers, only identified as Eric, holds his breath, spotting something that defies comprehension in the shadows. Were they prepared for what the woods had in store for them? Absolutely not. Suddenly, they were confronted with the sight of a towering, hairy creature ambling steadily on 2 feet, emanating strange, blood-curdling noises like something ripped out of a nerve-wracking folklore. The thrill of adventure pulses through their veins as they struggle to comprehend the unimaginable. Is this the legendary creature known as Bigfoot, gracing them with its presence? The production quality of the video is strikingly well crafted, each frame wrapped in suspense as they recount their gripping sojourn through the park. The fine line between reality and myth blurs further as we ponder what they discovered deep within the forests of Ohio. Was it an actual Bigfoot sighting or an elaborate hoax, a mere figure clad in a costume? As the legend of Bigfoot clashes with the cold concrete walls of scientific skepticism, credible evidence remains elusive. Cryptic tales are challenged by scientists as potential hoaxes and simply folklore. The revelation of this story might stay obscured in the shadows of the paranormal, but our appetite for the unexplained and inexplicable remains a testament to the exploratory spirit within all of us. As the lines between reality and myth continue to blur, we shall never be satisfied with the mundane, and the spirit of adventure will always endure. As we continue to unravel these mysterious occurrences, we must also shed light on other peculiar encounters that have taken place in the Buckeye State. Drawing from the annals of reported incidents, we find yet another intriguing encounter corroborating the uncanny series of events that have unfolded so far. Casting our eyes back into the sequestered landscapes of Ohio, we stumble upon another tale that presents an eerie parallel. A tale so fascinating that it further fuels the conversation around the existence of the enigmatic Bigfoot. In the quiet vicinity of a rural home not too far from Columbus, Suzanne Farrakak contended with the eerie sound echoing around her. This was not the first time Suzanne experienced such strange incidents around her abode. Proximity to the wilderness often sparked encounters that were we'll say, out of the ordinary. On this particular night, Suzanne was confident the primal unfamiliar howls belonged to none other than the elusive creature of folklore fame, Bigfoot. Throughout the years, there had been several accounts of Bigfoot sightings in her area, and now she felt she had made her own encounter, one that was experienced not through the lens of sight, but notably alive, in sound. This conviction wasn't achieved overnight. Suzanne was no stranger to the subject of mysterious creatures, especially Bigfoot. Her first brush with the beast dates back to a chilly night in 2013, when, while driving down a southeast road in Loudonville, she claimed to have seen Bigfoot. The gigantic figure jumping across the road fit the description often associated with the creature, about 7.5 feet tall and embodying a hulking mass of hair. From then on, her rustic home turned into an inadvertent Bigfoot surveillance point. Unusual knocks and howls, coupled with sightings in the quiet woods behind her property, peppered her daily life. Years since her first sighting, one July 3rd, the territory around her home broke its eerie silence when the deep rumble of an uncanny howl resonated. Amidst bursts of fireworks echoing in the valley, a chorus of coyotes was seemingly interrupted by more intense howls. Suzanne didn't miss a beat. She believed it was Bigfoot making his entry in the dead of the night. Skeptics around her suggested alternative explanations. The sounds could have very well belonged to an alpha male coyote attempting to call its pack. Despite the speculation, everyone agreed in the admission that the sounds did not match known animal calls in exactitude. Examining Suzanne's recording, there seems to be a peculiar intersection where belief, curiosity, and scientific understanding meet. While the specifics of the source remain debatable, the event has added another dimension to the legend of Bigfoot in the state of Ohio. After this eerie encounter, Suzanne decided to invest in a more expensive audio recorder, suggesting her exploration to record the unseen was far from over. As part of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, this event only fueled their fascination, leading her to spend more time examining and corroborating new sightings and exploring Bigfoot's whereabouts. Skeptics might argue, but for Suzanne and those sharing her belief, every uncanny howl echoing in the wildernesses of Ohio carries an underlying narrative. The tale of the creature we all know as Bigfoot. Through the shadowy labyrinths of mysteries that shroud Bigfoot encounters, we stumble upon tales that send chills down our spine and yet leave us clamoring for more. With every chilling encounter, whether it's the daunting sightings in Ohio or elsewhere, we find ourselves caught in an irresistible pursuit of the unknown, forever drawn towards this enduring figure of intrigue as we stitch together these pieces of the grand puzzle. We're compelled to question why. Despite the skepticism and technology-led demystification, a significant number of people continue to believe in Bigfoot's existence. We find ourselves led down a path that merges modern-day scientific skepticism with an immutable human fascination for narratives that arouse our primal fear and curiosity. With each stride into the depths of the woods, we stir the echoes of our curious minds, seeking to solve this elusive mystery of Bigfoot. Every crackling twig underfoot, each rustle concealed in the dark whispers of the leaves is an invitation to confront the unknown. With this backdrop of poignant curiosity and a resolute desire to unravel the mysteries, we ask, why do so many people still want to believe in Bigfoot? In an era where technology has advanced leaps and bounds, and when skepticism in the realm of supernatural beings runs rampant, Bigfoot sightings and encounters keep their pace, leaving a trail of fascination and disbelief in their wake. This phenomena implores us to probe deeper into the fabric of human imaginings and connections with the wild realms of nature. In the fall of 1958, the world was jolted by the news of giant footprints found in California, dubbing the unknown creature behind them Bigfoot. Decades later, the enigmatic giant continues to hold its place in American folklore, despite a massive lack of concrete evidence to support its existence. The Smithsonian Magazine raises an important question. Why is Bigfoot still so popular and prevalent in modern culture? Humans have a natural affinity for storytelling and myth-making. We find solace in the idea of untamed nature and our separation from it. Bigfoot sightings may provide some kind of a visceral thrill of the unknown, or perhaps a chance to reflect on what might have happened had humanity not crossed into the realms of civilization. For others, believing in Bigfoot serves as a testament to the spirit of exploration and undeniable curiosity that has driven human history. It delves into the frontier spirit and American values that still run deep within the nation's psyche. On the other hand, the enduring fascination with Bigfoot also taps into some less romantic aspects of human nature. Susceptibility to hoaxes, the obsessive quest for attention, and our inclination to sensationalize. The incessant tide of fake Bigfoot videos and dubious sightings flood the internet, making it increasingly challenging to focus on scientifically credible material. Technological advancements have fueled the growth of fabricated evidence and misinformation, creating an environment where the truth seems ever more difficult to determine. Bigfoot remains more comfortable dwelling in the realms of myth and speculation than physical reality. Yet, the belief in the existence of Bigfoot, despite skepticism, showcases the significance of folklore and the power of the human imagination in shaping how we perceive the world around us. This next one gets a little extra spooky because, honestly, if you're from Southwest Ohio like I am, odds are you've spent at least 1 or 2 weekends relaxing in Hocking Hills in one of the various cabins with all the sights to see and the hiking to be had. But there's more to it when you dive deeper. Hocking Hills has many eerie silhouettes, and when you look deeper into them, you uncover another spine-tingling encounter that unfolds amidst the foreboding whispers of the dark woods. This unsettling story weaves a tapestry of fear, anticipation, and utter disbelief, drawing us further into the shadowy realm of other curious incidents where mystery lingers around every single bend. Bea Mills, an intrepid outdoor explorer and nature enthusiast, reignites these tales. As the founder and director of the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival, her colorful encounters bring to life the mystery that lurks within these woods. In Bea's view, Bigfoot could be anything and everything: a spiritual being, an unknown mammal, an alien, or a supernatural entity. Yet for her, these creatures are as tangible as the rocks and trees of Hocking Hills themselves. The region's vast isolation cultivates a perfect stage for these encounters. From raccoon hunters spotting a large, hairy female Bigfoot with a baby on its back, to schoolgoers witnessing mammoth-like silhouettes, stories of the beast have found a home in the local lore. In Clear Creek, whispers about the Clear Creek monster, believed to be Bigfoot, feed into the grand narrative. Bea's first-hand encounters with Bigfoot came unbidden, lulled by the eerily peaceful woods around her home. She started hearing unfamiliar, almost supernatural vocalizations. With her curiosity piqued, she delved into the lore and local legends. It culminated in her joining the Bigfoot Field Researchers, a community dedicated to unearthing the truth about this elusive creature. April 6, 2014 marked a significant turning point. Bea, along with a group of investigators, was out in the woods one clear moonlit night. Their tranquility, though, was disrupted when they spotted an unnerving figure approaching them from a distance. Their tranquility, though, was disrupted when they spotted an unnerving figure approaching them from a distance. Initially expecting a deer, the group fought their heartbeats as an all-too-human figure lumbered towards them. For Bea, the world came to a standstill. Time seemed to stretch, and she looked on in complete and utter disbelief as the figure disappeared into the creek water nearby, eerily mimicking an elephant crashing through. Was it Bigfoot? The figure's swift yet noisy exit left a shiver trailing down their spines, muting their initial shock. Instinctively, they scrambled to alert the rest of their party over the radio, but found all their electronics were dead. The aftermath was as unsettling as the encounter itself. Shaken but undeterred, Bea continues to engage in these hunts, searching for clues and unpacking the enigma of Bigfoot. For her and many others, the mystery of Bigfoot is a siren's call, drawing them into the heart of the Hocking Hills area. It's a chilling dance of fear, awe, and fascination, an unending pursuit that lures seekers off beaten paths and into the mysterious shadows of nature. But there are worse ways to spend a day than in the beauty of Hocking Hills. Bigfoot, master of evasion or masterpiece of fiction. Now, we all know that these slick smartphones of ours capture everything from fun selfies and puppy dog pictures to just breathtaking sunsets, right? Strange then that in a world where beasts of all kinds are but a hashtag away, one elusive creature, Bigfoot, remains more of a narrative than visual evidence. I mean, let's cut to the chase. In an era where our tech-savvy toddlers could mug for a sweet selfie before they're even out of their diapers, how is it that Bigfoot can tiptoe through our modern world unseen and completely undetected? Is this creature an Einstein of evasion, surpassing our best trackers and outdoor enthusiasts? Or is he like a shadow, a figment of our collective imagination, thriving only in the fertile soil of fantastic folklore? Allow me to set the scene. The woods are quiet, a hush settling among the trees. Suddenly, there's a rustle, a glimpse of something big. Bigfoot. But as quickly as it appeared, it's gone, fading back into the inky darkness. And while your heart's pounding and adrenaline's coursing, your fingers fumble for your phone, managing only a blurry, dark snapshot. The figure, just a shadowy mystery, sketched in pixels. Before you can say Sasquatch, you're left with shaky knees and a less than convincing proof of your encounter. So, what's going on here? Could it be that Bigfoot is more intelligent than us, surpassing our heightened senses and advanced android tech? Or perhaps the mystery creature is just that, a pure mystery, woven together by hoaxes and half-remembered truths designed to whip up a sensational cocktail of fear and fascination. Here's a tasty tidbit. Many alleged videos and pictures of this extraordinary creature have indeed been debunked as hoaxes. Allow us to not forget the infamous Patterson-Gimlin film we mentioned earlier, shot in 1967, which still sparks fiery debates among Bigfoot believers and skeptics today. But hold on tight, because the plot is about to thicken with high-profile claims of well-executed hoaxes. With technology constantly advancing, Adobe After Effects wizards and prosthetic makeup experts have made it easier to fool the unsuspecting, adding yet another layer to our beastly riddle. But does this mean Bigfoot doesn't exist? Not necessarily. The absence of proof, after all, is not proof of absence. Bigfoot, like any good mystery, is shrouded in a cloak of questions. As we race towards new revelations with every passing moment, it remains nestled in our collective imagination. A beacon in the vast wilderness of the unknown. A place where many of us find a respite from the struggles of daily life. You know how we have amazing stories about pirates hunting for hidden treasure or superheroes with secret powers, right? Some people actually believe these theories to be true, while others think they're just spicy tales to ponder. Food for thought, I suppose. That's why now we're going to tell you about some of the most popular and definitely the most exciting conspiracy theories about old Bigfoot. First up, some believe that Bigfoot is actually a descendant of cavemen like Cro-Magnon or Neanderthal. Think about it. With those big, prominent brows and massive, hairy bodies, our mysterious creature may just be an ancient hominid living in the shadows of our modern world, smirking at our comparative feebleness. Alright, now this is where things get really weird and sluggish. Some theories suggest that Bigfoot is actually a sloth. You heard me right. A long-lost member of the Megatherium, or giant ground sloth family. Bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Neither did I. Boasting an uncanny resemblance to the creature of folklore, could Bigfoot be nothing more than our furry, slow-moving friend's prehistoric relative? I mean, your guess is as good as mine on that one. But here's a sobering thought. What if Bigfoot sightings are all elaborate hoaxes, deception, trickery, and Photoshop, the holy trinity of our digital age? Could it be that we are victims of an intricate web of bamboozlement as elusive as the creature itself? In an era where misinformation is the name of the game, it leaves you wondering, have we been deceived? One widespread conspiracy theory suggests that Bigfoot is, I don't know how else to put this, extraterrestrial. I'm not kidding. Speculation abounds that our friend Sasquatch, the Yeti, the skunk ape, is actually an alien being, hopping interdimensional portals, which would conveniently explain the creature's sudden appearances and disappearances. That puts a whole new twist on illegal aliens, doesn't it? I can get away with that joke because I'm Hispanic. Now, consider this. Are the whispers of Bigfoot captives true? Some claim that governments around the world have secret facilities where they've been hiding both living and dead Bigfoots. But if these behemoths are indeed under wraps, what's the government trying to learn from them? Revealing the truth would surely turn the world on its head. So I guess there's that. All right, now brace yourself. Some theorists go even a step further, speculating that Bigfoot is actually part of a secret government experiment. Think psychic warfare or genetic manipulation. Kind of far out, isn't it? For those who prefer their theories a little more scientific, and I do mean that in quotes, how about the idea that Bigfoot creatures are the result of genetic mutations or maybe even experiments gone awry? Altering genes is no stranger to us in the 21st century, and if Mother Nature or a sneaky scientist decided to throw one of her curveballs, bam! Bigfoot could have been born. And then there's the theory that Bigfoot is none other than... Okay, are you ready for this one? The idea is that Bigfoot is an evolutionary throwback to Homo habilis, or a descendant of Gigantopithecus, that supposedly survived extinction. It's a little bit of a stretch, but then again, they did find the coelacanth, so... But perhaps our collective fascination with Bigfoot is less about the creature itself and more about our human desire for mystery and wonder, a reflection of our primal fears and our innate curiosity, our longing for the thrill of the chase and the lure of the unknown. I mean, as it stands right now, most of our days, most of our lives they're kind of figured out. We have a car, we kind of know how it goes. We have a job, we kind of know how it works. We have a phone, we kind of can look anything up as it happens. But Bigfoot is like a big white whale, but with a lot of hair. And it also might kill you. As we unravel this fascinating tapestry of conspiracy theories, we unveil a multitude of enigmas that boggle our minds and challenge what we thought we knew. Among these stories, one character has left especially large footprints on our imagination, the being known as Bigfoot. You're probably seeing a pattern here. For years, tales of this tall and shadowy creature have echoed across the globe. Sightings have been claimed, footprints have been found, heated debates have ensued, and countless adventures have been embarked upon trying to solve the mystery of his existence. And we're talking all over the world. Maybe not Antarctica. I haven't found anything in Antarctica, but everywhere else, basically. They have a Bigfoot, they have a Yeti, they have a skunk ape, they have some giant hominid. But now our story takes an unexpected turn. As though walking through a hidden door in a secret garden, let's talk about how a DNA study proves Bigfoot never existed. This isn't just another story or a secondhand sighting. It's an exploration into the mysterious and intricate world of DNA, the tiny little building blocks of all life. Bigfoot, a giant creature known by countless names the world over, like Sasquatch, Sketz, and the like, this elusive figure was the stuff of legends, captivating global intrigue with tales filled with hushed whispers and blurry footprints. Some even claim that he's 4,000 years old. But then arrived a team from the esteemed University of Oxford, armed not with cameras or traps, but with beakers, test tubes, and the powerhouse of genetic deciphering, DNA analysis. The year was 2012, and these audacious researchers did something utterly out of the box. They raised an open call for hair samples of the so-called Bigfoot. Hailing from museums or private collections, an assortment of 36 samples purported to belong to the mysterious Bigfoot were collected from around the globe. The United States, Russia, Indonesia, India, Bhutan, and Nepal. This geographical mix puzzled everyone, suggesting that either Bigfoot had quite the taste for globetrotting and definitely some Delta Sky Miles, or perhaps there was more than one anomalous primate. The suspense hung in the air like a dense fog. After all, this was the first investigation of its kind, Bigfoot being taken seriously by serious scientists. With their detective gears cranked to the max, the team conducted thorough DNA analyses of these samples, comparing their findings with known species of animals. The results that the scientific sleuths discovered were a medley of pure, wild surprise. Turns out that the collected samples had absolutely nothing to do with Bigfoot. Instead, they traced back to bears, wolves, raccoons, a porcupine, deer, sheep, a human being, and even a cow. Yeah, you heard me right. A mooing, milk-producing cow. The revelation sent waves of disbelief, shattering the grand illusion of the legendary creature. Although the findings suggested the non-existence of the enigmatic creature, the researcher Brian Sykes quipped, quote, "The fact none of these samples turned out to be Bigfoot doesn't mean the next one won't." The enduring world of Bigfoot conspiracy theories took this statement as a glimmer of hope, continuing their quest for the mythical creature. We've navigated through the fascinating world of conspiracy theories, the myths, the legends, the cryptids, and even treaded an unconventional path toward scientific studies attempting to debunk the legend of Bigfoot through DNA analysis. But don't you worry, the fun doesn't stop yet. We're going to bring things back to my home state of Ohio. Despite all the studies and scientific findings, the enthralling legend of Bigfoot remains all the more alive today. Yes, we are about to immerse ourselves in yet another captivating encounter, and once again, right here in the heartland of the United States, Ohio, the Buckeye State. One moonlit night, a young boy named David stood in front of a captivated audience and trembled as he described a massive, brownish-black furred creature he had seen in Ohio's Shawnee State Park during a family camping trip. An elderly woman followed, recounting the night her peaceful home unexpectedly shook as if a boulder smashed into her house. Not once, but twice. As more chilling tales emerged, it seemed that the shadows themselves whispered that Bigfoot was alive and lurking in the dark corners of Ohio forests. Now enter Matt Moneymaker, a renowned Bigfoot hunter and co-host of TV's Finding Bigfoot, and somebody I think lives up to his last name. Under his guidance, several hundred people convened at Pleasant Hill Lake, forming a community united by their common pursuit of the elusive beast. By nightfall, the forest bore an eerie aura as the attendees kept their eyes peeled and ears wide open, desperately seeking Bigfoot. Sitting quietly in anticipation, they watched with bated breath as a thermal drone scanned the woods searching for signs of life, a telltale heat signature or an unusual movement hidden within the foliage. Suddenly, Matt's attention was drawn to the giant screen as a hotspot materialized among the trees. Could it be Bigfoot, camouflaged amidst the foliage? The drone attempted a closer look, but the thick forest rendered it impossible to confirm the sighting. The air became heavy with suspense and anticipation as the search continued. Despite the mystery, one thing is abundantly clear. Ohio continues to be an ideal hotbed for those seeking Bigfoot. We journeyed deep into scientific studies, DNA analysis, and even Bigfoot festivals as our quest delivered us right to the heart of the captivating legend of Bigfoot within the scenic Ohio landscape. But, as with all extraordinary tales, the story it doesn't end. But, as with all extraordinary tales, the story doesn't end. As the mysteries surrounding Bigfoot continue to enthrall believers and skeptics alike, we turn our attention to the people who find solace and unity in the pursuit of the unknown. In an intriguing balance of nature and the seemingly unnatural, Hocking Hills, a stunning region, brazenly declares itself as Ohio's Bigfoot capital. And as I mentioned, it's also great for tourists. How better to celebrate this unique identity than an annual festival dedicated to the pursuit of the elusive Sasquatch, the Bigfoot Festival in Logan, Ohio. Under the watchful guidance of the keen-eyed Bea Mills, the Bigfoot Festival morphs from an echo of hushed tales gripped by the Ohio woods into an exuberant celebration that unites a community, stretching their desires beyond their backyards. Bea's vision of celebrating Bigfoot as the township's hairy hide-and-seek world champion strikes a chord with both enthusiasts and skeptics, driving them to relish the Appalachian landscape's beauty. Stretching across August 4th and 5th, the festival is a cornucopia of engaging activities. Folk music fills the air, creating a lively ambience, while the anticipated Sasquatch howling contest sends spine-tingling echoes through the crowd, along with some pretty good belly laughs. As darkness engulfs the landscape, festival goers embark on moonlit hikes, their hearts pounding with the hope of catching a glimpse of the fabled creature. Ohio's connection to Bigfoot and other cryptids cannot be overstated. The state ranks 4th nationally in alleged Bigfoot encounters, with over 300 reported sightings since the 1970s. Sparked by this alluring lore, the state has become a hub for Bigfoot-centric conferences, investigations, youth camps, and, of course, the annual festival. The Bigfoot Festival is as much about economic support as it is a celebration of curiosity. The increase in visitors to the area helps support local businesses. So for those ma and pa shops, crafters, and artisans, they can all get involved with Bigfoot. It's no minor gathering either. For its inaugural launch, a staggering 10,000 people visited, temporarily doubling Logan's population, with even higher attendance expected this very year. The festival serves not just to satisfy the curiosity of Bigfoot believers, but also as an avenue to boost local tourism and foster a stronger community connection. Yet, Ohio's tryst with urban legends extends even beyond Bigfoot. The Ohio River Valley nourishes tales of the Mothman in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and the Little Green Men in Kelly, Kentucky. The diverse natural features of the region, its extensive waterways, and mysterious woods spawn these captivating narratives, particularly for the Sasquatch, a legend entrenched in the hills for decades. Perhaps then, the Bigfoot Festival is not just about chasing after this otherworldly creature. It's also about the community joining, exploring, and embracing Ohio's gorgeous natural landscape. Everyone has just as good a shot to see a Sasquatch as the next person, so the festival remains a joyful, lighthearted celebration, inviting everyone to partake in the exhilarating mystery firsthand. Legend has it that Bigfoot possesses magical, almost supernatural abilities. They say that in the blink of an eye, Bigfoot can blend seamlessly into the forest, using its enchanted hair to camouflage itself, like some kind of a very furry ninja of the woods. Just imagine what it would be like to share a secret handshake with the elusive forest dweller. It'd be very it would have to be an extremely secret handshake, that's for sure. As we follow the trail of Bigfoot's footprints, we uncover a surreal assortment of clues. Rumors swirl that Bigfoot has a penchant for leaving behind enchanting messages in its famous footprints, messages known to summon friendly woodland creatures. Keep your eyes peeled for these. Who knows, we might just be the lucky ones to decipher the mythical encrypted messages for the first time. Contrary to popular belief, there's no need for midnight hiking or eerie expeditions to try and spot Bigfoot. In actuality, the key to increasing your chances of a Bigfoot encounter lie in immersing yourself in nature and learning about the great outdoors. The Hocking Hills region offers the perfect canvas for this enriching experience with its picturesque landscapes and countless opportunities to explore. And no, they didn't pay me to say that, although maybe they should. Embark on an adventure to discover lesser trodden trails. I've definitely had a good time doing it. Places like Natural Rockbridge Trail, Wayne National Forest, Salt Fort Lake State Park, and Schallenberger State Nature Preserve. While exploring the breathtaking beauty of these pockets of wilderness, remember to pause, listen, and observe the rich flora and fauna that coexist within these forests. As you learn about your environment, you'll find yourself deeply engaged with the culture surrounding Bigfoot. Merging these passions for nature and Bigfoot's legend is essential because understanding nature, its behavior, and the landscape is one of the most effective ways to prepare for an encounter with this creature. And remember, folks, while on your Bigfoot escapade, always prioritize safety for both yourself and the ecosystem. Dangers abound in the form of precarious cliffs, and veering off the trails can have serious implications for the fragile wildlife in these areas. Also, if you get lost, you will starve and die. At least if you're as good as I am. Regardless of whether the tales we hear are rooted in fact or sprinkled with a little dose of fiction, there's no denying the power of these timeless Bigfoot stories. They're like sparks in the night, igniting our curiosity, fueling our evening campfire conversations, and giving life to the primal fear of the unknown that resides deep within us all. Who can truly say what mysteries lie hidden deep within the dense forests we so eagerly explore, or even within the vast expanse of our own hearts? The curious allure of Bigfoot isn't just about the creature itself, but also the breadcrumb trail of questions it leaves behind. Could such a creature even exist? If it does, what does it reveal about our world and its unknown wonders? And why are we so drawn to the shadows, the unexplained, and the mystique? Traditional wisdom would suggest we should be afraid, yet in our pursuit of Bigfoot, it's not just about encountering a legendary creature, it's also about the journey. The thrill of exploration, the joy of storytelling, and perhaps most importantly, the endeavor to understand the mysteries that both our world and we hold within ourselves. In a way, maybe the real Yeti was the friends we made along the way. I couldn't resist, I had to put that in there. As we explore and question, let us continue embracing the unknown. And remember, every murky path or unanswered question is an invitation to adventure. So here's to making the most out of enduring human curiosity, the one that looks at the starlit sky or into the shadow-dappled forest and asks, what if? I've been Enrique Couto. Thanks for chatting.